Welcome to Bougie and Boring, a spa business podcast. I'm Amanda Luisa, a licensed skincare professional and spa owner. This podcast is all about creating a business that's both high-end and effortless. What I like to call bougie and boring, because the goal isn't chaos and overwhelm, it's simplicity and ease. I'll show you how to build a spa that runs smoothly, feels inspiring, and is so well structured, it practically runs itself. You'll learn how to create a business that's not just successful, but truly enjoyable to own. Let's get right into it. You've done it. You have built the dream team. Your books are full. The shelves are stocked. The team is mostly running. But on the inside, you're exhausted. You're so over it, and you're wondering if this is just how things are. I'm here to tell you, you cannot outwork your burnout. You can, however, recover from it. And you can build a spa that doesn't drain the life out of you. So there's this myth of more hustle. We've all been sold the idea that if we just work hard, things will get better. And we've glorified the word busy and hustle. But you can't just keep telling yourself, oh, once I hire this person, or once I get through this season, or once I hit this revenue milestone, everything will be better. Everything will be great. But burnout doesn't fix itself when you reach the next level. If you currently have a crack, you are only going to grow that crack even bigger. It often gets worse because now there's more pressure, more people relying on you, and even less space to rest. So if you're doing more and feeling worse, then this episode is perfect for you. Some signs that you're past the tired phase and you're starting to get into that more burnout phase is you might think that you're just having a rough week, but here's how you know that it's a little deeper. If you fantasize about quitting, I'm laughing because I've been there. I've totally fantasized about quitting. Are you kidding me? Like what a dream that was at one point. I was like, I cannot wait to get rid of this off of my shoulders because the burden is heavy. Another thing, if you feel resentful of your business in general, I'm talking about your clients, I'm talking about your team, even though you love them, you're still resentful. Totally normal, first of all, very, very normal. Another thing, if your creativity is gone, if you're just going through the motions and you don't have any space to let your brain just kind of come back to a baseline, it's not going to allow for this really awesome space to dream, really. If you feel like you have to work when your body is screaming at you to rest, not just your body, but maybe even your brain, because you've been working on these really tough projects that are mentally exhausting, then that's a sign you're headed right into burnout. And if you cry in your car before walking into the spa, that's also a way to define if you're headed into burnout. Or if you get into your car after a long day and you cry, that's another sign. So burnout is not just being tired, it's being disconnected from the joy and passion that comes from your job. It's being tired from energy, from purpose, and it doesn't have to be like that. I have 100% been in burnout, and sometimes I still get to it, even now. And that's just, it kind of comes with being, with scaling, with, doing something new for the first time is hard. And when you scale, you're doing it for the first time. And so you might take on more than you think you can handle, or you think you can handle it. And then you realize after the fact, oh my gosh, I actually need help. But you don't realize it until you are headed into that burnout. But it's okay, because the more you do this, the more you are self-aware, the more you're going to be able to recognize it before it happens and nip it in the bud. And that's when it's like, oh, yes, I am growing, not just my business, but in my own self, and being able to recognize when I need to start asking for that help earlier on. So burnout recovery isn't about bubble baths and candles. It can be, totally can be, but it's also about changing what burned you out in the first place. So here's what that can look like. You can audit your own responsibilities. What are you doing that someone else can own in your business? Get brutally honest. The spa won't collapse if you don't do your inventory for a week, or if not every single DM is responded to within 24 hours. Sometimes you cannot get to them. Okay. Audit those responsibilities and see what is most important, what can be handed off. Creating white space on your calendar is so important. That means blocked off time for nothing. If all you want to do is just drink your coffee in the morning or watch the sun rise, no admin, no errands, nothing. Let your mind wander. You need that mental recovery time just to give yourself space to wonder and to wander and see what magic can happen when you breathe and you just focus on breathing. Another huge thing that you can do to stop the burnout is to stop underpaying yourself. This is something that I feel like not a lot of people will talk about. Burnout hits harder when the payoff doesn't match the effort. So if you are working 50 plus hours a week for $1,000 a month, maybe 2,000 if you're lucky, the math alone is pretty demoralizing. If I'm being completely honest, I was 1,000% in that space for quite some time, a couple years in my spa. And once I realized that the effort I'm putting in does not match what I'm getting out, that's when I realized something had to change. And so if I wanted to stop that burnout, if I wanted to start taking care of me so that I could then start taking care of my family, I needed to stop underpaying myself. And the last thing is to rebuild your boundaries. Now, this is something that might need to be talked through with a loved one, a professional, whoever. And I'm a huge fan of therapy and a huge fan of just getting vulnerable with somebody that you trust, whether that is a therapist or a dear friend that is maybe in the spa industry and gets it, or even being brutally honest with your spa coach and letting them know, hey, I need to rebuild my boundaries. I need to figure out, like, why don't I have them? What boundaries do I need to have? Why do I hesitate to share these with other people? And why, not only why do I hesitate, but why am I, like, it's not a boundary if you don't uphold your end of things. So if you tell someone, hey, stop hitting me, and then they hit you and you don't do anything about it, which a boundary, I guess, would be stop hitting me or I'm going to go to a different room. And then they continue hitting you and you stay there, you don't move. That's not a boundary. That's just you talking to them. So saying no to clients that are draining you. If a client is draining you, then you can give them to another esthetician, whether that esthetician is at your spa or somewhere else. You can also say no to team members who disrespect you or your time. Say yes to rest, even if it means saying no to revenue for right now. Sometimes you need to slow down in order to speed up. There's that very common saying of slow down in order to speed up. And the way that I remember this is because my maiden name is Bowman, as in like a bow and arrow. And so when you think about it, in order for a bow an arrow to work. If you want that arrow to go farther, you need to pull it back even more. And so the more tension there is, the farther it's going to go. The more you pull back, the farther that arrow is going to sling forward. So that's how I remember it. But you need to slow down in order to speed up. So my personal burnout story, I've got a couple different little pockets that come to mind in my memory of a time when I was severely burnt out. And gosh, I think the one that I'll bring up right now is just, there was a season that I had where I was working 6 days a week, doing it all, and people kept telling me how successful I was. Oh my gosh, you're doing so well. But I was having panic attacks at night. I dreaded falling asleep because my dreams, I started having something called hypnagogic dreams, and it's essentially dreaming with your eyes open, but your body is still paralyzed from sleep. And I was having nightmares. And, when you are having nightmares with your eyes open, that is just a next level of nightmare. And so it got to a point where I was dreading sleep, and then I stopped sleeping, and then everything just kind of compounded, and it got to a really bad place. So I dreaded going to work. I dreaded my own business. I was resentful of my own business. And I realized that I had built something that looks really good on Instagram, but it didn't feel good behind the scenes. So I restructured. And different variations of this have come about. And I can now recognize when things are starting to head in that direction, because in their own way, they will sometimes. But I can recognize, and then I am able to stop and really truly think, what is going on that is leading me to feel this resentment? It's leading me to feel like, oh my gosh, this is not what I want for myself. So, things like I stopped seeing certain clients. I delegated more than ever. And I will say it is the best feeling in the whole wide world. It is so addictive. I love delegating. I love it, love it, love it. And now I say no as a complete sentence. So I stopped saying yes to everything and everyone other than myself and my family. And I gave myself permission to rest. And it started, hear me out. Okay, this might sound silly to some people, but I bet you that this is going to resonate with a few select people. And for those people, it's going to resonate so much that you're going to be shook, as my millennial girls say. So if you are bringing your phone into the shower with you and listening to things on YouTube or podcasts or whatever the case is, if you're listening right now in the shower to me, I want you to pause me, turn me off, and just let your mind be in the moment for the 7-minute shower that you are speed showering through. Because I know you are speed showering right now, because that's what I used to do. I would speed shower, and I would literally set a 7-minute timer because I was like so anxious of missing something in my business, and it's just an awful feeling. So I encourage you to start small. Give yourself that little bit of space. Start with the shower. Don't take your phone into the bathroom. I know it's tempting. We all do it, but leave it outside of that room. Okay. To finish, if you're listening to this with tears in your eyes, if you feel a knot in your stomach or in your chest, just know that you're not alone. Burnout is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that your systems are not working the way that they should be. all systems can be restructured and rebuilt. So take these first couple steps that I mentioned here and stop surviving, start healing, and start living in a little bit more of a peaceful mindset. I do have a free burnout recovery video series if that's something that you would be interested in. I just talk you through how to get through burnout. I obviously talked about it today right here in this episode, but there's so much more that I could go into, and it can start with that recovery video series. So you can listen to it in the car if you are strapped for time, which most people that are burnt out are, and that can start to really just jumpstart where you need to be for you to love your spa again. So I hope you are taking care of yourself, my friend. And if not, I would love to help you start doing that as soon as possible. I'll talk to you in the next one.
If you found value in today's conversation, don't forget to subscribe or share with a spa owner friend. You can also leave a review on iTunes, and in the comments section, ask any question you want, and I'm so happy to answer it right here on the podcast. Ready for the next step? Schedule a free 30-minute discovery call to see how I can help you with your business. You can also head over to amandaluisaconsulting.com and grab a free resource. I've got so many good ones over there. Whether it's hiring, paying yourself more, overcoming burnout, I've got you covered with resources to help make your business bougie and boring. Peace and love, my friend. I'll talk to you soon.